So in the previous video, we set up our design screen in the fitness challenge and we set up our variables that we have listed here. Now what we need to do is create a list of functions. And the first function is going to be quite simple, and we're just going to display our average. So we're going to calculate and display that average. So our average is actually pretty simple. We've written this algorithm before in our previous data tracking apps. So we're going to set our average to getting our global sum and dividing it by the length of the list. So we're going to come over here and we're going to go length of list. And the length of the list that we want, we can duplicate right here, is our entries for activity minutes. So we're going to display our average amounts of minutes by taking our global average, setting our global average to that sum and getting it and dividing it by the number of activity minutes. And of course, now that we've calculated it, we have to display it now. So we want to find our average label. And again, like we talked about in the setup video, this is where naming your labels what you know them to be will prevent label confusion. So mine is the number label text. And what do I want to display? I want to display that global average. Now the next thing I can do is I can write a sum, an algorithm for my sum. And so I'm going to do my display sum. And it's going to be that same process. We're going to set our sum equal to 0. Come over here and duplicate. And then for each item in our list, so we're going to come to controls. So for each item in our list, and the list that we want is our global activity minutes, which is here. We're going to set our global sum, and again, I can just duplicate here. Sometimes it's a little easier than going into the drop downs. So we're going to set our global sum to getting our global sum and adding the item from the item list. So we can come here. I can just grab this one here and change it to the item from the list. So we're going to add up all the items in that list now, and what we need to do now is display them. So we're going to come here and we're going to set, for this one it should be our total number label, and the text we want to set to our global sum. So now what we've done is we've written our program, our function for our display and our display sum. What we need to do is making our data visible and invisible to the user. So we're going to write a procedure for this, and we're going to, call it data visible. And basically what we want to do is we want to set these labels, and I want to duplicate that. And I just want that label one here. And I'm going to need 4 of these because I have 4 labels. And this is just so we can have multiple things on that screen. So I'm going to set my labels for all 4 of these. So I can go to my total label. Then I'm going to go to total number label, then my average label, and then my average number label. And I'm going to change all of these to visible. Now, obviously, what I'm going to want to do is come up to my logic, and for this one, we'll make it true. So we're going to duplicate this block. So we're writing a function to display all of our data.